welcome to AFL.com.au, where we are about to exclusively reveal the State of Origin squads for the bushfire relief match. I'm Nerily Meadows, and I'm very pleased to say I've got Matthew Lloyd and Ross Lyon alongside me. Rossi, a bit of a different summer for you.
Yeah, not as busy as previous years. A bit of leisure time to fill, but it's great to be back in the harness doing some work and exciting concept, State of Origin.
I know the feeling. Matty, State of Origin footy, it is back. It's been a long time since we've had it, and we're excited.
I was fortunate enough to play in the last three, 97, 98, 99. I wasn't good enough to get a game in 08 when it came back for that 1 year, but yeah, it was brilliant, and it's nice to have Rossi on this side of the desk. Gee, I was scared of him when he was on the other side of the desk, so it's nice to have him on our team now, Nez.
We're going to get to you playing for Victoria very shortly. We've got a few highlights, I think. I'd love to say we've got lowlights, but it's all highlights when it comes to Matty Lloyd. All right, let's have a look at the details for the big match first of all. It is a double-header, of course. We've got the AFLW action to kick things off, 5:40 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Then it is Victoria up against the All-Stars, 7:50 Daylight Time Eastern, Friday, February 28 at Marvel Stadium. Tickets available at ticketmaster.com.au. And a little bit of a look at the selection process. Basically, they came up with 27 players for each squad. So we'll have a look at it. The AFL requested the availability of 8 players from each of the 18 clubs. The clubs were then told about that and said, yes, you can have these guys. These guys are unavailable through injury. And then Damien Hardwick, John Longmire, they got together and they picked their squads of 27 each. So it was kind of nice, the fact that they got together and did it. And I would have liked a bit more rivalry there, to be honest. But each club as well is represented. So it would have been a fun meeting, that, I would imagine, Rossi.
It would have been one of their more enjoyable match committees, I would imagine. Stars on every line, sport for choice. And looking at them, we've had the privilege to have a bit of a look. Very exciting. It would be a great night of football.
Hey, Ross, how nervous would you be as a coach if you've got many players representing? Say you're still the Freo coach and you've got 5 and then you're nervous they're going to get injured?
Once the concept comes through, you sort of sigh a little bit and then you get your head around it. We all understand what's there for the bushfires and, you know, broke the heart of the country. So we're all in, and then from there it's getting your best available. And the players drive it. I mean, we were brought up on State of Origin. Teddy Whitten. I remember going in 1977 out to Waverley to watch Robbie Flower and Van der Haar in that place. So against Western Australia, I think it was. So the players will drive it. People like Fife, they'll be full ball. They'll want to star on the big stage.
And we are hearing that a lot of the players basically said, put me in, coach, I want to be there for this game because it means so much. You mentioned off the top, you've represented Victoria 3 times. Tell us about that first occasion.
I couldn't believe it. I'd played 20-odd games of football, Nez, and I think there was a few injuries in the forward line, so they said, come in. 23 games of footy I'd played, and I couldn't believe the players I stood beside. It was Sauce played, Robert Harvey, Chris Grant, the size of Stewie Lowe, I couldn't believe it. And then I thought, how easy is State of Origin? I hit 3 in the first 10 minutes, Ross, and then I didn't get another kick after that and finished the last quarter on the bench. But we won by 8 points in hostile territory.
Was it a midweek game or a weekend
No, it was on actually, it was a weekend off mid-year.
Right.
So, yeah.
What does the big V mean to you, though?
Well, I was at the game in 1995 when EJ did the lap, and I was actually sitting there with Brad Johnson. And Brad was in his 2nd season, I was in my 1st, and we looked at each other and said, we have to play State of Origin one day, and we both played in that side together 2 years later. It was phenomenal. Now,
I'm representing my West Australian Gold here today, but Rossi, you've also represented at State of Origin level.
Well, loosely. It was the B team down in Tasmania.
The B team.
Yeah, I kicked 4, but that was okay.
We've got some vision here. This is Ross Lyon representing the B team Victoria up against Tassie. Look at that hair.
Those were the days, a little bit of hair.
Was that the day Tassie beat you or not?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was huge then. I think Jimmy Manson, I think David Parkin coached, who coached me as a young player. So all credit to Tassie. They lifted incredibly down there with the passion of the home crowd. But it was still great to pull it on. And as a junior, you know, playing those junior Victorian teams, you always loved it.
All right. Well, for this reveal, we have Matthew Lloyd, of course, taking over, representing the Big V. You've got the jumper here with you as well. This is the jumper that the boys are going to be playing on Feb 28 at Marvel Stadium. And Ross Lyon, you're a man that's represented plenty of clubs around the country. You lived in Sydney for a while. You're an adopted West Australian, so we've given you the All-Stars.
It'd be a great honour, and it'll hang in the cupboard, and they'll take great pride in it. Hand it down to their kids at some point.
So basically, we have given you guys the squads, and then you've come up with your ideas for who you think should be playing where. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Matthew Lloyd, let's start with the Victorian forward line.
And it was not an easy team to pick, this one. You're blessed if you can have these players, and squeezing out who have got on the bench later on. But I thought I'd stretch Ross Lyon and his all-star team with Dangerfield forward, because I think he's one of the most dangerous forwards in the game. I'll tell you who he's going to rotate with later on. But Tom Lynch at full forward and Toby Green. So 3 players very good aerially above their head, sorry.
That's pretty handy. So who's going to play against them,
Very
Rossi?
handy, that's what I'm thinking. But I've got the quality to match in my view. Shepherd, Harris Andrews and Rory Laird. They're great players in their own right, but we'll rely on our midfield putting some pressure on and some dirty ball in.
No, I think I've got him covered on that.
All right, let's go with Victoria's half-forward line.
Well, Ross has got some concerns about this half-forward line of mine, but they are all beautiful kicks of the football. Look at the class of these 3. Shaun Higgins, I think he's underrated because he's at North Melbourne. He's off the radar a bit, but best and fairest winner again. Jeremy Cameron, obviously beautiful left foot, and Robbie Gray.
Reigning Coleman medalist, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Robbie Gray, just all class. He'll balk and he'll weave and he'll run rings around this all-star half-back line.
So can they stop him, Rossi?
Certainly talking it up, but my all-star half-back line is the modern game. It's electric, it's
Fair bit of pace there.
and hugely skilled. Johannisen, there's no quicker player, more electric player in the game. He'll attack from there. If you look at Higgins and Gray, we love them and Jeremy, but I wouldn't suggest that they're chasing out their A-grade games. So I think Brodie Smith and Johannisen might put the bib on there and take off.
A bit of history as well with Jeremy Cameron and Andrew Harris as well.
Harris Andrews,
That's Harris Andrews, sorry. It's State of Origin footy too.
Oh, that was brutal, that hit by Jeremy Cameron, but yeah, I'm sure they'll move past that.
And the match review officer is in play for this match as well. All right, let's move on to the Victoria centre line. Who have you got for us?
This was my favourite line to select because it was just, this is as good as you get, in my opinion. You know, the 2 Giants players on the wings and Dusty complementing them in the middle. So you'll see later on how many Giants players have put their hand up. They don't get to play in too many big games, despite playing in a grand final. So this is huge for them.
This is class personified. How are the All-Stars going to match that?
Well, you wouldn't want to have that in your salary cap. So, look, all premiership and grand final players, Isaac Smith with 3, Bradley Hill with 3. No one can outrun them, but the class of Whitfield and Kelly will test them, and Fife Martin head-to-head would be very special.
Do you feel like you've got them by the boot there?
No, I like that line. I think that's a Hill, Smith and Fife. That is brilliant. I'd pay just to watch those 6 players go head-to-head.
Very classy indeed. All right, Victoria's half-back line, what have you got?
Well, this is where it gets a bit tougher because they're not the those players that... but Basher Hawley, he's come second in the Norm Smith medal in 2017 and 2019, so it's brilliant that he's rewarded with his jumper. Darcy Moore, well, it gets a bit tougher with key position players, but Darcy Moore, he may just shine on the big stage. Nick Haynes is a wonderful footballer, courageous, one of the best interceptors in the game.
And just quietly, wonderful that Darcy Moore is available for this with everything that he's been through. It is absolutely fantastic. Who have you got matching up on him?
Certainly Shane Edwards. There's 7 premierships on my line. I think there's only 1 on yours there, Lloydie. So the experience and the nous and the toughness of Edwards, Rewalt and Bruce should be able to compete really strongly and give the rest of the team the opportunity against that half-back line.
Victoria's back line.
Well, I've got a bit of everything here. James Sicily, so we've got the foot skills of Sicily. He'll be puffing the chest out. We know that in that big V jumper. He does it every week. Blixard, I'd hate to play on Mark because of his running ability. Not sure why Chris didn't play him on the big guns in the finals, but and Adam Sard, he can play tight or he can run and dash. So I'm happy with that back line.
James Sicily, who are you going to put up against him? Because he does love the fire.
Well, this is almost my most exciting line. Charlie Cameron, Hawkins, Walters, and Mark is going to get the opportunity to play on the quality and the size of a power forward. And everyone that's been criticising Chris might have to eat the words after Tommy kicks 10. So Walters and Cameron, that's electric, and the other 2 might have to just tighten up a little bit.
And we love seeing the teammates going up against teammates, don't we?
We do, but Ross and I were talking off air about the last knee that was done, probably big knee, and that was Andy Collins. Andy Collins tackled Tony Hall. Devastating for the Hawks.
In the mud of the MCG, by the way. But and I think the instruction would be as Mark Blockers runs off, Tommy, don't chase. Let someone else chase you. You just stay there and we'll turn it over.
All right, who have you got for your followers?
Well, Todd Goldstein's put his hand up, as has another ruckman from another team that we'll get to shortly, who I'm starting on the bench. But this is what I want to talk about. I'm rotating Marcus Bontempelli and Dangerfield. So ruck rover, deep forward, and I think both of them are weapons when they go deep into the forward line. And Cochin, he's one of those ones that there might not be much tackling going in this game, but Cochin gives you that presence from a tackling and defensive perspective.
Captains galore as well. We love that about this game. What have you got for us, Rossi?
Well, I've got the preeminent ruckman of the game, really, Brodie Grundy, who just absolutely dominated finals, and really with Fife, Yo and Zorko, the explosiveness of Zorko to get on the end of Fife's inside work and Elliot Yo's outside run and aerial work will be a challenge for everyone that comes up against him. So I think as a combination, they complement each other and they'll be able to utilise what Grundy does, which will give them first use.
So, of course, we do have teams with 27 players on each, which gives us an interchange bench of 9 players, unlimited rotations as well. Obviously, they're going in perhaps even a little bit underdone at the start of the year, so plenty of rotations going on. Talk us through your rather large Victoria bench.
Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed by my 5 midfielders on this bench because they're so good, but I've got Lloyd to come into the defence, the Sydney Swans' Jake Lloyd. I've got Stephen Martin to help out Goldstein, to tag team Brodie Grundy.
Wonderful year last year for the Lions.
He was. And then my 2 small forwards to come on and create havoc are Tommy Papley and Jade Gresham. So
Nigglers
as well. A bit of spunk there, Ross.
Yeah, there is a bit of spunk, but I think your midfielders will be fighting for game time. You've got 5 coming off the bench. Good luck getting them off. So that's your first challenge.
He's got danger playing deep forward as well. Talk us through your bench.
So I've split them up, my bench, split them into the backs, Callum Mills and Neville Jetta to relieve the run, and Zach Tui can go back there as well. The wing, I struggle for the third winger, so I've got Lockie Weller, who's got real speed and power and kick on the wing, and the inside mids will be Handy Cripps and Neil going in there, and Tex Walker to rotate with Hawkins and Rewalt. They'll keep fresh and be a real foil down there. And Cornelio as the other forward, high forward playing as an extra mid, can work off Edwards and Bruce.
Now, just a reminder, this is the way that you've picked the teams, not necessarily the way that the coach will pick the teams.
Well, I spoke to Horse today.
Got the inside word.
Accurate.
But when you've got Cripps, Cornelio and Lockie Neal on your bench, you're going okay.
Oh, you're sleeping very soon the night before the game. That's what you are doing. But you can't come out with, we just want role players today. It's going to be... Go and show the world what you got.
Ross, can I ask you, how much pressure, defensive pressure, do you think will be in this game? Or do you reckon it'll just be all-out attack and a team will kick 20-odd goals to win it?
I'd like to think, and both the way Richmond play, they are direct with the ball and don't over-finesse, and John's history is, let's go in. So I think they'll be saying, let's not over, let's express yourself, take it on, really display your skills and flair, but let's get it in and give our forwards a real opportunity. I think it'll be played, they'll want to win and they'll compete fierce and it'll be tough, but it'll be played in a pure sense without too much strategy to limit scoring.
Well, they are the teams. We'll take a closer look at the overall squads in just a moment. But as we mentioned, this means an awful lot to every single one of those players, both to represent their state, but also for such a wonderful cause that the entire country is rallying around. These are the players and their thoughts on State of Origin footy.
For me, to represent your state or the All-Star team, is unique and special because it doesn't happen anymore. But for me, it is about the bigger picture, and that's all the horrible circumstances that so many families and communities have been put through and put in. There's one or two things that come along every now and again that's far outweighs, how big football is or how important football is, and this bushfire appeal will be one of those.
I think the best thing about Australians and the best thing about this game, which is why I really want to play, is everyone rallies together and it's going to a good cause. So I can only imagine what some of the people are going through, and we'll try our best to raise as much money that day to give back.
To be able to represent your state is an amazing honour, but then even far greater than that is to help support an amazing cause and raise some funds for much needed help and support to these people in need. So tremendous honour, even more of an honour to be able to help people that need it.
I actually went down to Mollymook, which was 3 hours south of Sydney, just before New Year's, after Christmas, before New Year's with my girlfriend, and we got stuck overnight. One night, got slept in the car because there was a bushfire just passing through, and yeah, it was just pretty scary.
If we can get as many people from these rural areas that have been affected and get them down here, this game will give them something else to talk about other than what's been going on around them.
I've never represented Vic, so to be able to pull on the big V and represent your state would be amazing. So it's something I've always wanted to do. But overall, it's about the big thing and why we're coming together. So raising money for the people in need and the victims in need and the families in need, and hopefully we can make a small difference and just put a smile on their face, which is really important, I reckon.
You know, my brother and father have fought the fires, and we're fighting the fires, and I've got a lot of close friends that were doing the same thing, and you know, I haven't seen it firsthand yet, but so much devastation throughout the communities, and you know, it's going to be awesome to pull on the boots for a good cause and try to help out where we can.
I tell you what, you hear the boys speak about that, but Jeremy Cameron in particular at the end there, what it means to him and the connection he has to it, he is going to be up and about for this.
He will be, and you just never know when the next opportunity will ever come, and if it will ever come in your career. So it's just an unbelievable experience, an opportunity for these guys. All
right, let's have a look at these squads in full now. Matty Lloyd, talk us through 27 players, all of them absolute superstars representing the Big V.
Oh, they'd be like kids in a candy shop, these guys. To actually mix number one and then get to play with them. But Rory Sloane, obviously brilliant player. Stephen Martin coming to the end of his career, what an opportunity for him. Darcy Moore, well, the rebound and ping that he gives off, and Pendlebury and Sidebottom, they've just been there before. Class acts. Brilliant opportunity for Sard, you know, Blixarves, Dangerfield, Cameron, just every line you've got. Robbie Gray, love watching him, you know, seeing him play for Victoria. Todd Goldstein, he would have thought his career was nearly over not so long ago, and he's suddenly playing for Victoria. Whitfield and Kelly and Haynes and Green, 4 Giants superstars, and Hawley, he deserves this opportunity. Tom Lynch.
Such a good story, Basher Hawley.
Yeah, Tom Lynch this time last year was hobbling in rehab. Now he's the dominating premiership player. Dusty Martin, will he be captain? I hope he is, because he's been the face of it so far this week. And then Gresham, Lloyd, Papley get an opportunity. The Bont on the big stage with McRae, well, they're tough, hard, seasoned players.
All led by Damien Hardwick. Ross Lyon, the All-Stars, talk us through it one more time.
This All-Stars team, when I look at it, if you put your coach's hat on, there's stories that every player's experienced. There's a lot of rookies in there. I know Sun Walters, his story was sent away, come back. You know, Charlie Cameron's had challenges. You've got Brodie Smith off a knee. Jeremy Howe was a rookie. They're not all silver spooners, first-round picks here. So they've earned their. Brad Shepherd really struggled at half forward, find his way, went back. Elliot Yeo, second club, superstar of the competition. Luke Bruce, rookie list player. So Zach Tui, international rules. What a story. An Irishman comes out and he plays for the All-Stars team in Australia. So there's a lot of character, a lot of people that are going to really want to tap into what they stand for and show it to the footy world. And I just think they bring great character and great excitement, and they'll want to add to their stories in this game.
That's a wonderful summary, and I love the fact that Rossi says that Michael Walters was sent back. You sent him back.
Yeah, it was me. Guilty as charged.
All right, let's have a look club by club, because as we mentioned off the top, the special thing about this is every single club is represented. So you'd expect the grand finalist teams the most represented in this, but talk us through these.
I think it's a wonderful story that Brisbane have 5 representatives, because you wouldn't have thought that 12 months ago. For what a job Chris Fagan has done. Cripps obviously deserves that spot, and the Pies and the Crows, they've been seasoned teams for a long period of time.
All right, let's have a look at the next lot. So Essendon, just the one representative. A reminder as well, there are players who are unavailable. So we know that the Bombers have had a shocking off-season on the injury front. So there are a few unavailable, but 2 blokes you know very well, Fife and Walters, representing the Dockers.
And that graphic is really reflective, and the previous one, the best clubs have the best players. So, and the clubs that have been struggling just have 1 or 2, and Fife and Walters are very special players, but they need their teammates to step up and grow to this type of level. But the Cats, it's no coincidence he's done a super job, Chris Scott. But when you look at the quality there, he's also got some good tools to work with.
And you know Lockie Weller pretty well as well.
I do know Lockie's a beautiful boy. I think the best is in front of him, and hopefully experiencing the elite will bring the best out of him, and he can have a breakthrough year for the Suns.
All right, taking a look at the GWS Giants, as I mentioned, they have 6 in this team alongside Richmond. They are the most represented. The Hawks as well, obviously, they've been up and about for many years. Not as good last year, but they've still got star quality there.
Yeah, and you wonder why they struggle to hold on to their players and they lose some every year. Look at that. That's probably the best quality of any team that's put out there. We'll see Richmond very shortly, which might match that. But Cameron, Canelio, Green, Haynes, Callie Whitfield, just about all bar Haynes are $1 million players. You would have thought even Haynes could command almost that. So it's a great line. Hawthorn, 3 quality players, premiership players, except James Sicily. Jetta, been a wonderful player for a long time for Melbourne, and Goldstein and Higgins, just warriors for their football clubs. And
also, fantastic that Stephen Canelio is actually available for this, given the knee issues last year. Port Adelaide, Rossi, Robbie Gray there. Scott Lysett as well represented.
Yeah, very special player, Robbie Gray. Had some health concerns, really bounced back. International rules, I work with him. What he can do in a shoebox is unbelievable. He's so dangerous. And Scott Lysett reinvigorated his career, so it's a wonderful opportunity. And it's great that the Tigers have put their premiership stars up and made them available. And there's no bigger name in the game than Dustin Martin. And, off the field, I've met him personally. He's a special kid. He's a wonderful kid. And hopefully he can turn it on.
And St Kilda there, we've got Jade Gresham, Bradley Hill. I'm not sure that counts as St Kilda. Surely that doesn't count, does it? It's Fremantle.
Well, possession's 9/10 of the law, so I think they've got him. And Gresham, well, what a story. Again, the Saints need more like it. And I think if he can really rub off on Robbie Gray and those Walters and learn something to take back to the club, it's been a wonderful experience for him and really the Swans with Lloyd, Mills and Papley are really high performers. And they really can't get away from their coach in a sense, can they?
I'm sure Tom Papley will want to perform well in this one to kick the year off in the right fashion. And just finally, the West Coast Eagles, a few players were unavailable. Somebody like a Nick Naitanui, for example, given his issues with injury, but still, as we say, plenty of stars.
Yeah, Josh Kennedy, another one that would play, probably just needs that extra work. But it's good for Brad Shepherd. He missed out on that premiership. I know it doesn't replace the premiership, but gets to play on a big stage. And Bontempelli, Johannisen and McRae, all been wonderful players for a long time for the Western Bulldogs.
All right, let's check out the details one more time of this match. It is February 28, Marvel Stadium. Tickets available, ticketmaster.com.au. Victoria up against the All-Stars. State of Origin footy is back for the bushfire relief. A wonderful cause indeed. So finally, boys, before I let you go, take off your Victoria hats, take off your All-Stars for today hats. Who wins and why?
I think the midfield and the forward line of the Victorian team will be far too deep and too powerful, and I think the aerial skills of the All-Stars will be too much. So I think that they'll win. I think Bontempelli will be man of the match, and they'll win by 5 goals, Victoria.
Rossi?
I just think Grundy will start it from the middle, give Fife and Cripps. There's no better insiders than those guys, and really Rewalt, Walters, Hawkins and Cameron will do the rest, and our electric half-back line will be unstoppable running off.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter who wins, this is going to be something special. Thank you so much for joining us on AFL.com.au for this exclusive revealing of the State of Origin squads. Share your thoughts as well on social media, but for now, it is goodbye from us.